Welcome back to the Chicago Tomahawk. I'm Mike, got Matt with me, my co-host, and we've got some news for everybody today. We have recently joined the Faceoff Hockey Network, the FHN.net. Give their website. Go check them out. Check out their Twitter, FHN.net. You'll be able to find them. They're awesome. You can get all of your hockey news there. They're looks like they're pretty new, but they're getting a lot of teams on there, and we're going to be doing articles, and our podcast is going to be on there. So give these guys a look and see what they got going on, because this is going to start blowing up. You know, they're getting new podcasts every day, and it's pretty cool, and we're really happy to join them and see what we can bring to the network. But going forward, we're also going to be writing articles, like I mentioned. And if there's anything that you want to hear, anything that you want us to write about, send us a message. Get us on Twitter, Chicago Tomahawk, on Twitter and Facebook, and let us know if you want to hear anything. If you want us to podcast about anything, any ideas for guest people that you want to hear from, let us know, and we'll be willing to give it a shot to try and get them on the show. So today, got an update for the Stanley Cup Finals. Stanley Cup semifinals. Both series are tied at 2-2, but it does not look like it's going to stay that way. Tampa is up 6-0 right now on the Islanders. 7?
7.
It's just like that. 7-0 on the over. Islanders. They're blowing them out. So that's not good. So, and the Habs and Vegas are tied 2-2. That's a pretty tight matchup. Matt, let's start with the Habs and Vegas. What do you got going on in that matchup?
Ooh, well, the big story was last night. Fleury didn't. He's taking a seat, and they're throwing Lehner back in, and everyone was like, "You got to be kidding me! You got to be kidding me! This guy is nuts!" And Lehner proved everybody wrong. I mean, he played great. He proved me wrong. I thought Fleury should have been the man in the net. He got him there. Give him the respect. But DeBoer, he went with his gut feeling, and he wanted his guy in. I believe that Lehner is his guy, and he wants Lehner to be his guy. He threw him in, and he had a great game. Got him a win. Series tied 2-2.
That's a huge win, too, because if they went down 3-0, that'd be, well, I'd say it's trouble, but we all know that a team can come back down 3-1.
Yeah. Carey Price playing great. Another story in that series is the officiating. I know there's been people up in arms about some calls. I think Corey Perry was pretty much hit in the face with a stick, and you saw the pictures. His face was all bloodied. Playoff hockey pick. It looked awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's the playoffs. It's intensity. There's emotions. There's gonna be punches after whistles. That's hockey. I think people just need to get over it. Let them figure it out, and it'll take care of itself. The officiating, I think, but you can't blame the refs for a game that you lose. You got to score goals. I think the Canadians they're not really getting much offense from their. I guess, who do you consider their top guys? I mean, I think Carey Price is the man on that team, and Cole Caulfield is up and coming, but he's still young. Even on Vegas' side, their top guys are not scoring. Mark Stone has kind of been quiet. Max Pacioretty has been pretty much bullied by his old team. They're just making him pay. It seems like they're hitting him every single time, and it's getting to him. But it's a good series, man. I kind of thought the Knights would sweep these guys, but man, it shows you what a goalie and momentum can do. These guys believe in themselves, and I think this is gonna go 7, honestly, and I don't know who's gonna take it.
Right. Marchessault was having a pretty good playoffs and he's kind of in Colorado, and he's kind of gone a little quiet, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he got a hat trick. Was it the last game of the Avs series? Was that Game 6?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, he showed up. You know what? Even in Vegas' first season, I thought that guy was their best player. Him and actually James Neal.
Yeah.
But you know what? This Vegas team, it's so impressive what they've done since their start. I mean, they've been in if you consider this the Western Conference Final, I know the Habs play in the East, but like the Final Four, they've been here, what, 3 times in 5 years?
Hmm.
Or is it 4 years? That's so impressive, and it's cool to see. An expansion team, usually, they're bad for a couple of years, and these guys came right out of the gates hot, and they're hungry for it, too.
That's good management from the top down.
Oh yeah, it's
Good
great.
leadership.
He nailed the expansion draft, and I don't know if Ron Francis can do that in Seattle. I mean, that's going to be hard to top. Making it to the Stanley Cup final the first year,
Right.
making it to the West, or I think the second year they got robbed by the Sharks, but then the next year they made it, but still, like even now they're such a great team. They're so stacked. So I think they probably will win Game 7 if they make a Game 7. I think the Habs are going to run out of gas, but you know what? They've been a great story this year, knocking out all these guys, and Carey Price playing out of his mind, and it's been cool.
What do you got with the Isles in Tampa?
Well, I'm a Tampa guy. It's my team. Besides the Blackhawks, obviously, I've always had a thing for them since 2004. I think I was a junior in high school, and I just remember the Hawks just not being that great that year. And you know what? I like this Tampa team. I like Hobby Bullen. He was a good goalie, and how can you not like Marty St. Louis? The guy's just a competitor. He's a little guy. He's like the underdog, and he's putting up great numbers. But getting back to now, they're just so stacked. Kucherov's the man. Even tonight, Stamkos he's shown up. I think he's got 2 goals. They're kicking butt, 7-0. But I give a lot of credit to the Islanders. They're not like a flashy team. They score goals old school. They wait for you to make a mistake, and they capitalize on them. I was gonna say Varlamov's been good until tonight. Barry Trotz, one of my favorite coaches. Just very responsible defensively, and it's no question he made the Predators a great team. He made Washington a great team. They won a cup with him, and he's going to help this Islanders team win a cup sooner or later if it's not this year.
That's interesting. It's almost as if Tampa just has these games where they just completely rout a team. I think they've done it pretty much every single round so far, where they've had one game where they've completely just routed a team. I wonder if this is going to be demoralizing enough for the Islanders going into Game 6.
I don't know. Do you know the last game was a Game 3 when the Islanders won 3-2? I think it was on Saturday night. We saw the best save in the playoffs, and it was by a defenseman, Pulock.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I think people should talk about Ryan McDonough's spin move, because that puck was going in the net. That would have been the greatest playoff goal I've seen in a long time. He could have tied that game, and Tampa could have won an OT. It would have been over tonight. But that guy made a great defensive play, bailed his goalie out. And, usually when you win a game, you mob your goalie. They all mobbed this guy. That was so cool. I thought that was the best ending to a playoff game this year.
That's cool, man. Yeah. So I'm still pulling for the Islanders, and I'm still pulling for the Habs. I want to see. I think it'd just be interesting to see, these two teams duck it out because normally these would be 2 Eastern Conference teams playing in the East Finals, but playing for a cup, I think that'd be pretty interesting.
I think they both play similar game styles too. They're more, I guess you could say, conservative. They're not really like running gunners like Vegas. But I think if that came to that, I would probably take the Canadians
over the Islanders.
I think so, just because it's hard to stop a goalie who's on, and I think Carey Price is just he's so good, man. It's been fun watching him, and even Tampa's goalie, Vasilevsky, he made some great saves tonight, too, when the score was kind of still respectable.
Yeah.
And he's just another one of those world-class goalies. And I know Dave Hansen's not a big goalie guy, but there are some stud goalies in this league that I know he goes, when's the last when was the last MVP goalie or elite goalie? He goes, none. But I mean, look at this. We got Fleury, a Hall of Famer. He's been playing great. He probably lost his net, but still, he can easily get it back. You got Vasilevsky, he could be an MVP every year the way he plays. And I was gonna say Varlamov, but I mean tonight it just wasn't his game, and then Sorokin, not his game either. But it's not easy, jumping off the bench and
So
against Tampa.
Moving on, and I want to move on because, we've talked about Jack Eichel before, and now it seems like the rumors are really spinning up about him, and they said that the Blackhawks are in the mix on him. And so what have you heard so far? What have you heard about packages or anything, potential packages for him or anything?
Well, we know the asking price is going to be very, very high.
Right.
I mean, you're going to start. It always starts off like that. I mean, even when you're buying a freaking car, it seems like it's high, and you go back and forth. But I've heard packages of Kirby Dach, and I'm not a fan of that one at all because I think Kirby is too young, and you need to see what you got before you just throw it away because you don't want Kirby Dach to go to Buffalo and be like an MVP type of player. I would be okay with, giving a first-round pick, top prospect, current NHL player Dylan Strome, or, even a Zadorov. I mean, the guy, we've heard rumors of him wanting $5 million a year, and I'm asking $5 million a year for what? Just checking people? We can, like you said, we could pay a guy a rookie entry-level contract and say, hey, your job is to hit everything you see for $950,000 a year. I don't think, I am not a fan of this Eichel trade. I think he's going to end up going far, far away from Buffalo, like probably California or maybe Detroit. But there's a thing in the NHL, if you're getting rid of a generational talent, you don't want to see him like in your division or even conference. So I could see him going to LA or even Anaheim. I've heard Anaheim's name, but as for the Hawks, I hope they stay clear of that. I am not a fan of this at all.
Yeah, I'm not either. I don't like the idea of giving up Kirby Dach for him. Maybe Dylan Strome and Zadorov. Yeah, sure. Boquist, we could throw him in.
Yeah.
But I don't like the idea of getting rid of Kirby Dach. I think that he could be a solid second line player. To be honest with you, I think that.
Yeah.
And we don't even know, is his offensive game going to sparkle? Obviously he has a pretty good defensive game so far, and he's got great passing ability. And I think that he has bigger upside to him than some other guys that we have. But
he's still a kid, man.
He's
still a kid. He's got a baby face still. He's got to mature a little bit, and he needs a healthy year. He needs a full 82-game season. We need to see that before we're thinking about shipping him off to Buffalo.
Right.
A guy whose
especially
neck might not even be okay.
Especially and he has wrist issues, yeah, but that could be fixed. Eichel's having neck issues, and how far is that going to go? Especially with a $10 million cap hit. So I think those are other things to take in consideration. I would rather go after Seth Jones, man. I think that
I 100% agree with you on that one. I think if we are going to trade for somebody that's a franchise player, it's Seth Jones, no doubt about it.
And we won't have to give up as much.
I
don't think they would ask as much as Buffalo would want for Eichel.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, if they can hold on to him, and they're going to lose him for free anyway.
Right.
But at least get what you can for it. It's not like the Eichel situation. You're going to get so many years with the guy. And he's got a certain, like a salary cap hit. We know what that's going to be every season. With Jones, we don't know.
Right.
And it's kind of a risky gamble. I wouldn't make the trade unless, you could talk to him before saying, hey, we want to trade for you. Are you willing to re-sign with us? If not, we are not going to pull the trigger on it. And I mean, I think out of respect, he would say, no, I don't have any intentions of playing for Chicago. So, okay, we're going to walk away from this. I think every NHL team should do that. You got to protect your team. But I could see someone, maybe if they can't get rid of him at the deadline, it's going to be, or I'm sorry, the draft, it will be the trade deadline. Like a playoff team that's, hungry for a Stanley Cup and they want a guy, a difference maker like Jones. But it's risky.
I wonder if Bowman's feeling like the like his seat's getting a little hot, like he has to land one of these two guys for some undisclosed reason.
Yeah, just to get the fans happy, like, oh man, we got one of these elite guys, like a big name guy.
Right.
And he's got to do something this year. We can't be signing, all these European guys we've never heard of and guys that are over the hill. I understand role players are important, but I think the Hawks, they need this summer they need like a Brian Campbell, Marion Hossa like signing summer to say, oh, okay, we're going for it. We're back in it.
Yeah. Other than Seth Jones, who do you think would be a good defensive pickup?
Not Dougie Hamilton. I keep hearing that name. Like we talked about before, we don't need another guy who could skate the puck up and not play defense.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. It's the new thing. It's the new what do they call it? The two-way defenseman. I think we need a one-dimensional defenseman, like who's worried about keeping pucks out of his net and out of his zone, blocking shots. Probably the top prize will be David Savard from Columbus, Tampa. I know he got traded at the deadline. He's probably a rental guy because Kucherov will have his salary count next year. So they're gonna get rid of some guys, but I think he'd be a good guy. Savard would be good. I got a big place, or actually, I do have a big place in my heart for Hammer. I think he was a great defenseman. I'd like to see him come back and finish his career here in Chicago and mentor some of these young defensemen and, like show them how you play defense, how you block a shot, and how you kill penalties. I mean, I think that's huge for a young team.
Makes you wonder if maybe Saad's coming back, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think Jay Kahn said he thinks Saad's going to be the odd man out in Colorado this year. He could come back a lot. I don't think he ever wanted to leave.
Both times.
I think Bowman had to do something. We needed help on the back end, and Colorado wanted to, they wanted to go for it this year, and I think the trade kind of worked out for both teams. I know you're not a big Zadorov fan, but we needed a guy who could play, hit, but at $5 million, no way. I think he'd be more in the 3 area. I'd keep him there if we are going to keep him. But if you're paying him $5 million, I don't understand where this team's headed. I really don't.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. Well, there hasn't really been much NHL news, man. Not really too much going on.
The Rangers signed Gerard Gallant to be their head coach. I honestly thought Torts was going back.
Yeah, I did too.
And yeah, I thought they wanted to get him back and get that franchise back on track, which I thought actually it was on the right track. It just they had a disagreement. John Davison had a disagreement with the owner, and the owner didn't like how something was handled with that whole Tom Wilson thing, and they all went their separate ways. And you know what? I thought that coach, I think his name was Quinn, I thought he was doing great. I thought the rebuild was way ahead of schedule. They got the bread man, and he was kind of, he was getting them back on track. You got your big name stud, and then Zibanejad was playing good. They got 2 solid Russian goalies that were trying to, win the crease, and they were close this year. And I just, it was kind of weird to see that looking from the outside, them kind of giving up on those guys so fast over a stupid Tom Wilson incident.
I wonder, has there been a Panarin injury update?
There hasn't been. You know what? I know he missed games because of that whole something in Russia. I guess a woman said that she didn't like. You know how it goes. Something happened, and he was accused of something, and they had to put him on leave. I know he missed games because of that, and that really hurt the Rangers.
It did.
You hear this stuff all the time, and I was recently talking to someone on Twitter, and they were. Stuff gets brought back to Kane all the time, his behavior off the ice, and it's like, come on, let's. You can't accuse a guy if there's no evidence and stuff, and what, it just hurts the guy, and it hurts the team, honestly, and I just I don't like how that stuff happens to these guys.
Yeah, I don't either. But Kane's deal, he was acquitted, wasn't he?
Yeah, I know, but there's always there's always that, oh, it doesn't mean anything. Oh, yes, it does.
It does.
I mean, it means, yeah, there was an investigation and he was cleared. Was there what do you say? Was there foul play, or I mean, the two people were together and probably having alcohol, and alcohol usually does that. I shouldn't have done that, and I think both parties need to be responsible. They're adults, and you move on. You don't, oh, Patrick Kane did that to me, and he's famous. I mean, it happens a lot with athletes, I understand, but most people with power, they take advantage of people, especially women. I understand that. I have a daughter. I would never want, a man to do that to my daughter. But, I just think that that really hurt New York, and it hurt Kane for a while. I remember Patrick Kane that year. He came back. The poor guy was like balding, it seemed like. He had a full head of hair, and next minute, wow, this guy's got like no hair on his forehead anymore. It just took the life right out of him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I guess that's another conversation for another time to really get into that.
It is.
But Kirill Kaprizov is actually in Moscow right now. There's problems. I won't say problems, but there's an issue going on with negotiating with him. Yeah, for another contract, because they say that CSKA Moscow wants to sign him, and
they pay big bucks there.
Oh, they pay really big bucks. So
something with Russia, man. They just they're getting in the way a lot.
Yeah. So, and Minnesota is having I think contract talks have stopped. The last that I've heard.
That dude, that just kind of reminds me of that Radulov. Remember, he was huge with.
He sucked though.
You know what? I thought he was really good on that Nashville team. The way they played, he was kind of like their stud.
Yeah.
He screwed them over so bad, and I want to come back. It's like Kovalchuk too. Kovalchuk I just signed a 10-year deal with the Devils. I quit. I'm going to Russia.
Yeah,
man.
Wasn't after like 2 years or 3 years or something like that?
If they do that, they shouldn't be allowed to come back. And the NHL they welcome them back. I don't understand it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. But that being said, do you got anything else for us tonight?
No, man. I'm looking forward to Tampa closing it out hopefully soon. I think either series, either winner, it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be cool. I mean, if Tampa loses, then we know we're getting a new Cup winner, and I think the Islanders haven't won since their dynasty 4-year Cup run they made in, what was that, the 80s or late 70s? I mean, those were great stacked teams, and I don't know too much about the Islanders. I can't really say much. I just know that they've had a rough time. These last couple decades, they've had horrible GMs. Garth Snow, I've never been a fan of, just because he talked crap to Jeremy Roenick about not being intelligent and not, he had to go through juniors to make the NHL, and I came up through college, and Roenick gives him a good, okay, Garth, going to college gets you a career backup goalie job. Congratulations, bud. Just a good comeback. Mike Milbury, another hockey guy that I never liked or agreed with on anything, was a GM. Remember the Alexei Yashin contracts?
That was like a 10-year deal,
Rick
wasn't it?
DiPietro contract.
That was another big one.
And I think bringing in Lou Lamoriello and you got Barry Trotz, you sign two guys that know how to win and build good teams. I'd be so happy for them if they won, even though I am a Tampa guy. John jumping over to Vegas, like we talked about, it's been amazing what they've done, and they're probably one of the best expansion teams out
Ever.
of all sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Competing
it's so
right out
crazy.
the gate.
And then you got Montreal. Look at the history with that team. I mean, they haven't won since '93, I think, and they could be the first team to win a cup since '93 again, and that would be the first time any Canadian teams won since Montreal. I think that would be cool that they would be the team to do it again. I know there's been teams that have been close, like Vancouver probably was the last one. I want to say against Boston, 2011, the year after the Hawks. Vancouver shouldn't have been there because David Bolin was hurt for the first 3 games of our series against them. I thought it could have been easily over if Davey Bolin played game 1 through 3.
Did Vancouver make it to the finals?
Yes, they made it to the final that year, and they lost in game 7 against Timmy Thomas and the Bruins.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Man, those are tough teams to play against.
They have very entertaining hockey. Chicago, Vancouver, great hockey. That is what playoff hockey is all about.
100%, man. Man, those are some good series. But anyways, like I said earlier, we are part of the Faceoff Hockey Network now. Give them a shot, the FHN.net. Go there, check them out, see what they've got going on, and give some of these other podcasts a listen. And because there's a lot of good stuff on there. Check out the New York Rangers. They got a 30 on Broadway.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Pair at the Point. That's for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And they got a Winnipeg Jets podcast called The Airport Lounge. And give them a check, give them a listen, check them out, and check out the site. So it's kind of like an NHL.com, to be honest with you. But
it's got rumors and breaking news, headlines,
right,
signings. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
I really
it is.
enjoyed looking at it.
And I think most importantly is that, these are podcasts that are giving you like their honest opinion, that, we're not employed by the teams at all. So we're not beholden to the teams
we'd be fired if we were.
To give them, to give a positive light on guys, even if they're playing bad. This is just honest opinion about these hockey teams. And I think that there's a lot of value to that. So give everyone a shot, give them a listen, and let us all know what you think. Anyways, this is the TomaHawk, and we're out of here.